origin.
Yeah.
Before we go into this definition.
I think it's important. I'll pass it to you.
Okay.
I think that it's important to note that the battle that we're seeing that you just described is used as a form of oppression against Black people.
Right.
Because as long as we keep viewing it, if we view it as a weapon that has been formed against us, I think it changes the energy around it. And I feel like, and this is kind of getting into the conversation, I'm definitely still has to be you, but I feel like the Black community has internalized it as like our problem when it's literally created as a way to further deconstruct us.
Right, and I think that the things that have been instilled in them.
Well, you say,
but then we also have to realize, I need to make this distinction real quick, that slavery, while it was abolished, it has evolved.
Yeah.
Right? So that same superiority, like as white, lighter skinned people be in the house and darker skinned people are in the field. When it comes to the workplace, lighter skinned people get
Always
that job.
Right.
Darker skinned people don't. We have to realize that the powers that it started with are still at play here.
Yeah.
It's not just light skins continuing or dark skins continuing the slave mindset.
Right.
It's still being instilled.
Right.
I truly just wanted to
So that's the definitions that I've seen has always been a distinction that is a discrimination against people of darker skin tones, which I think is in part, but I feel like we should, I'm asking, do y'all feel that somebody of a lighter skin tone can experience colorism?
Yeah.
No.
Because on a day-to-day just interaction basis, I would affirm, not just because I'm light-skinned, but even if, I wasn't light-skinned, if you are treating somebody differently or treating somebody badly because of their skin tone, and that's a form of discrimination. And to me, it follows right under the definition of what colorism is.
Talking about here.
Which goes right back to the whole light skin hair concept.
Right. Okay, wait.
If you are dealing with hair types that are less kinky, right? When you say light skin hair and having hair types that are less kinky, typically is associated with you being mixed between Black and another race. Or specifically Black and white, which does go back to slavery.
Right. Yeah.
If a master reproduce with a Black female slave, of course the baby is going to come out either lighter tone, and a mix between having straight hair and kinky hair creates
beautiful eyes. All of
creates a different hair type. So him saying, "Oh, why don't you have light skin hair?" It goes back to the
I don't think
Can I share something? Okay, in my experience, right? Y'all know I'm an activist, and y'all know that I am Black. I identify as Black. I have gone through most of my life. I've been at PWI institutions to where being light skinned did not save me, like at all. I got it bad. Actually, I've gotten it worse than people of darker skin tones who have chosen to assimilate. If that makes sense. Okay, to elaborate on that, because if you are not used to being in a PWI space, you have people of color who choose to assimilate, right? Who sacrifice their Blackness for comfortability. And then you have me where it's plastered on my tongue. It's tattooed on my face. You will acknowledge that I am Black. Like always, every second of the day, right? And so I have experience from my own community. Like, you would think that, hey, the work that she's doing is good. The work that she's doing is going to benefit Black people. But because of the way I present of a lighter tone, girl, you don't know the half of it. Girl this, girl that. And assuming that my experiences with racism are invalid because of the way I present, I feel like in that instance, for me, it functions as a form of colorism. Now, I understand that socially, right? I'm very aware that for darker skinned people, colorism will always be worse. And I don't begin to try to, compare my experiences to those of darker skin tones. But I feel like as long as we allow, light skins can experience colorism, we can beat light skins up about stuff all day long because the system benefits you. No, it's literally why it was created. That's what they want. They don't want us to function as a community.
Right.
They were successful.
That's why we have to start by breaking the little things. And this is another sector of the conversation that I feel like is important to hit on. In society, we have seen examples to where there's a lot of people throw the term out, colors, right? If my brother, right, who is one of my brothers is like very, very light skinned, and then the other one is like more brown skin. Or okay, for example, my father, he's a brown skinned male, right? If he's married, so back off, ladies. But like dating they life. Right. If he was a single man, right, and as a brown skinned male, he decided that I like light skins, or my preference is light skinned women. I have seen examples to where he would be labeled colorist. What is the difference between being colorist and having a preference?
I think
it made me think about something. Literally, I know that in my experience as being a light-skinned female, right? Typically, and y'all tell me how y'all feel about this, but typically when you talk about the beauty of a brown-skinned woman or the beauty of a dark-skinned woman, it can be very detailed, right? Yes. It can be into her entire, energy, her physique, all of that.
Right.
But there is a stigma that when a guy is with a light-skinned female, it is solely because she is light-skinned. And I feel like the same effects that colorism has had on dark-skinned and brown-skinned girls, or even males, because that's we go.
I was just about to get into
that.
Right. And our.
I feel like that same, insecurity that it can create for a brown-skinned or dark-skinned female. That's like with colorism at large, like dealing with from a systematic thing. It leaves dark-skinned women and brown-skinned women, kind of at a lower point, right? That same insecurity inside the black community is being pushed on light-skinned girls, because I know tons of light-skinned girls who feel like I'm only pretty because I'm light-skinned, or that's the only thing I have. That's the only thing saving me. I don't have real beauty. Or a guy will literally like, I like light skins. Like, is there nothing else that I'm presenting that you find attractive other than my skin
spiritual
tone?
connection is what needs to be made.
I'm gonna pass to the last thing. If that person is a actor, right, and she's a great actor, and she just happens to be light skinned, and the black community is like, yo, stop casting light skins as all the black people roles. I get it. It definitely is an issue. But think about how it makes that girl feel, who is a darn good actor, and she did not choose to be light skinned.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
My thing is, and I want to bring up a specific point to what you just said. The book right here, The Hate You Give. Hate You Give. In that book, it described a dark-skinned woman.
It surely did.
It literally described a dark-skinned woman. And then we watched the movie, and Amanda Stenberg is the main character, and she's literally
an amazing actor.
She's an amazing actress.
But I don't think there are several dark-skinned actors that are amazing, just as good.
That could have played that role.
Right,
good as well.
Which I understand, but the black community yelling about this, I don't know. I was just thinking about her, and if I was an actor, first of all, because she's out here trying to make it as well,
right? She made it.
Saying like, girl, you shouldn't have had there, even though you're an actor. Even though you're a good actor and you killed that role because you were light skinned, you shouldn't have had that.
And I
don't like that.
Also, you said something. What did you say?
I said, was the movie right? Because a lot of people read the book. A lot of people watched the movie.
Beautiful book.
All demographics.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing, right? Was the movie less effective because they casted it like
less effective?
Yes.
Not for me.
I don't know if you said less effective.
Less effective. Because what the movie created was a understanding of how it feels, as a person of color when dealing with situations like that. B, it showed literally what happens with, people of color who attend PWIs, the scene with the hairbrush and everything. Like, the movie did a lot. Even the scene she had with Common, where he was explaining what officers look for and how he would address a black man versus how he would address a white man, who are the same inflammatory. How they address them is different. Right. The movie did a lot. Was the movie less effective because they casted a light skin?
I don't think
the movie for black people, it was. This is and I'm not trying to make this downgrade but this isn't. There wasn't really anything new brought up. The author put it in a way to where it was easy to understand. It was, I don't know, it expressed the sentiments that black people feel. Right. I feel like the movie did more for people of, the movie and the book does more for people of other races.
Yes.
I agree that they should have casted a actor who fulfilled the criteria of the character. But I do not agree in saying that the movie would have done more as impact wise if the actor was brown skin or dark skin, because of what Jayla said. We know that
look at that character on the front of that.
Right.
Look at her. What is she?
Right.
She has an
What
afro.
is she? She has an afro. She's dark
She's a
skin.
beautiful dark-skinned woman.
What?
Right. We already know we did not create colorism. We did not. And as Jayla said, if we know that across the board, light-skinned people are favored, which I hate, but if we know that, if the goal is for this to be impactful, and I know that, and it sucks, but if as a filmmaker, I know that it, will cause the capital, what am I trying to say? The views and everything will go down if I cast someone in a brown or dark skin. It probably hurt. If they did think about that as the director, it probably sucked.
Right.
But if the goal is to have impact, I get the decision.
Going off of
because
that,
we did not create
But
that.
I think that we are
That's somebody who has a light-skinned older brother. Shout out to him.
Yeah. And actually, he's like our editor and stuff. So
Right. He has expressed that he has things assumed about him, and as a male, he is a straight black male, and his masculinity is questioned simply because of his skin tone. Like as Sinai said, he is perceived as either being softer or being narcissistic because of his skin tone. And I know as a black female, if you ask me my racial preference, I really don't have one. I just want you to love me. But if you ask me, if you ask my racial preference, typically I would say, I'm more attracted to brown skin or dark skin males, because subconsciously I do, and it's not because of like anybody I've experienced, but I feel like subconsciously there is this image that lighter skinned males are less masculine. Are more concerned about their looks. The light skin face.
So
all of that.
typical strains of a light.
So that's what I'm saying. It goes back to slavery. There is an association with being light skinned to directly being, you're mixed with something. You are not purebred black, right? Which we don't have to get into genealogy. But if you view somebody as, you're like, if somebody saw Sinai, it would more than likely be an assumption that she's not purebred black, right? And I think that as a black community, when and it's mostly associated with, she has a white descendant, somewhere in her. Black people can attest to this. Masculinity for a black male is significantly different than masculinity for a white male. And so as black women, right, we may perceive white male masculinity as like, versus like, being a strong black man. It's attractive to us.
Something.
So when you think about a light-skinned male, like who is perceived to either, you're mixed with something, or you have a white descendant, you attach white male masculinity with the light-skinned male. So that aura of being a strong black man, in part, is stripped from him. So it gives off a feminine side because of what we associate it with, and not of what it actually is.
That's never been that for me.
Going off of
that point,
genetically, aren't they less black though?
Hold on, now let's get into the one drop rule, which is very true. One drop rule, which states that if you have 1% of black in you are black. You are black. Right? Hold on.
1% of black and 100% of black are two different things.
Right. But you obviously some can have more than others. But when you are dealing with situations where somebody, is mixed, and I really want to dissect this less black concept, because there are people who can be brown skin or dark skin and grow up in a different community or don't present like the typical what black people are supposed to act like, and we characterize them as less black too, or whitewash. So it's like this concept of being less black, is it only based off of like a race thing or ethnicity thing which you're combined with, or is just any association with white is considered less black, and which I think that it is.
And there's most people.
Okay, not gonna lie, as somebody who attends a PWI, I have dealt with white kids who will tell me like, I did a genealogy test. I'm 0.5 black. I can say the N-word. No, you can't, because you're gonna misuse it. You're abusing it. You're gonna misuse it. You're abusing it. But technically, if we're going based off of the one drop rule, they would be black and allowed to use certain.
I don't agree with the one drop rule.
I get that.
But okay, all in all, right? Because we were talking about, biracial people.
Right.
And are they, this concept of being perceived less black. And really, at the end of the day, colorism has specifically to do with the black community. but it's bigger than that, right? We perceive, this concept of whitewashed. You could be brown skin or dark skin and be whitewashed. You can be light skinned and considered more black than somebody who is a darker skin tone. And it all connects back to this, like y'all said, being on the house slave, the field slave. And I feel like for black people, anything that is considered closer to white is less black, and I hate it.
It is, and going because we are addressed with that every single day of our lives.
Right, and being professional. I don't know why it's perceived being closer to white.
Why being professional?
Why is talking clearly being deemed as white? Yeah. Why are you less black because you can articulate your words?
Because you don't use.
Okay, I want to connect this right back to colorism, right? And I feel like honestly, it is what Daya said. It's a fear thing.
It is
literally anytime black people associate something being close to white or similar to white, it's fearful for us. So we push away from it, from black people trying to create pride in being black. I feel like that's where the disconnect comes in. You're a light-skinned person. Your skin tone is quote unquote closer to white. You get more opportunities that are, that white people give to you. That's like that, and it affirms things that we saw in slavery. Yeah. It's the PTSD of being black.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly.
It is.
And honestly,
I feel like honestly, the solutions are already there.
Right.
You don't have to create some new formula of solvency. Carter G. Woodson and W.E.B. Du Bois said it in both their books, The Miseducation of the Negro and The Souls of Black Folk. It is going to take us educating and supporting ourselves. That's the only way. Because if we leave it up to white people, we will be destroyed, right?
Forever.
Yes. And I'm saying white people as in the system, not just, the everyday white person you meet wants you to die. No, that's not what I'm saying.
It doesn't work like
systematically, this nation we know it's set up for our demise. And if we let them dictate how far we go or the way that we perceive our success, it's going to forever be horrible. And I think that and this sounds, because I'm light skinned, this is going to sound like a different way. But I'm glad that as a light-skinned person who is dedicated to the betterment of my people, favor me so I can get in that space and I can open it up for somebody of different skin tone.
And I know a lot of people do that.
We gotta figure out who stop. I don't want people to think that we're fighting to get this treatment from the white men. No,
we're trying to build our own space.
Light-skinned person have created wealth through your privilege. It is your literal obligation to spread that to people who do not get the same simply because of how they present.
Period. You have to create.
But I think Langston Hughes said it best. They send me to eat in the kitchen, but I'm gonna eat well and I'm gonna grow strong.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's at this point. That's the solvency.
To eat well and grow strong.
Take it. Makes sense.